Ringtail, what's going on? What's good? What's happening, guys? All right, we've got 7 minutes. 7 minutes until the Daggerheart Gen Con live panel. And I need some bingo card options of predictions that we think is going to happen. So I've just been throwing these in. I panicked. It took me a lot longer to get to this point than I was hoping for. I have currently new tools, a new book, something unexpected happening, Mercer, Jeremy and Chris, a new AP, actual play, void content, new dice, Kickstarter, new hire, critical role cast, not including Mercer, or GM screen. I need ideas. Campaign setting is perfect. Thank you so much, champs. Adventure. I don't know how to fill out that middle one. No, there we go. Advenru. Adversary standalone book? I don't think so, but maybe. Adversary standalone adversary book. And we can take, liberties with these. We can be creative. Yeah, I think Fear Tracker is solid. What else do we want, guys? What else do we want? A whole new book. Yeah, I got a new book in there. New rules for VT. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna put VTT in here if they talk about like VTTs in general. Adversary cards. We know we're getting them. Adding on to Sem Nexus VTT. I'm not sure what that is. LGS Community Play Program? Maybe. Like, I think just general, like, community programs. To help people, like, play. Weather race sheets? Maybe. I guess I'll take whatever I can get right now. I've got 4 minutes, and I've got a bunch more to do. Let's erase sheets. Dry erase sheets. Solid. Art book. We know we're getting an art book. What's happening, Shepherd? Item cards is good. I want some more wild stuff, like random stuff. Like, will we see a live animal on set? Live animal on stage? Because there's a lot of animals with this stuff. I'm gonna say Exandria is a good shout in general. Just furry. Sure. Artificer, dude, actually that is huge because that's what I think they Artificer or something similar. I would love it. Man, I don't know who the surprise guest would be, but I think surprise guest is huge as well in general. So we take out dry erase sheets and put surprise guest. So you guys can't see the full thing. There we go. Tinker Domain, yeah. The Spice Girls being the surprise guest. That would be both something unexpected. That would be both something unexpected and surprise guest, I think. Is Necromancer a subclass of Summoner? It's all in a void. So it can change. I think Summoner is going to change a lot before we see it out in the wild. Oh, what about New Domain? That's a good one. Should we get rid of one? Oh, it's happening, actually. Hopefully my bingo card and my face don't get in the way of too much. Is there music? Not on my watch. Oh, there's... Alright, any last requests for this bingo card to replace anything before this gets started? New YouTube series, maybe make another famous gem. That's in there under AP. Actually play. Yeah, new AP down there. New transformations is fun, but what should we take out for that? Music, fill that. Thank you. Thanks. I'm not hearing what you're hearing, so. My sound setup is a mess. How's that? Can you still hear the music? We'll figure it out live. Partnership with Heart of Daggers will be interesting. Dude, I don't think they will. I think the Dagger Brain stuff. I think the Dagger Brain stuff would put me off having a partnership with people I didn't know personally. Without heavy contracts involved. Max would be sick. Max would be sick. Oh, we campaign for it, right? We got campaign setting. I'm gonna say like fame goes into that as well. So I don't think we're gonna get a setting in the sense that we think it is, but I think a chunky campaign fame is just a campaign setting in my mind nowadays. Wildcard could be Sam Weagle. Not Sam Weagle, Sam Weagle. Sam Weagle. Crossover book with him with actual play group. Yeah, I think I have on here. Do I have new partnership on here? Really, I want like wildcards. Stuff that would be crazy. Not crazy to happen, but just funny stuff. Oh, like they say, we're just getting started. Oh, that's huge. Yes, what should we get rid of for that? New hire. Just getting started. Is there anything else they say a lot? Like getting really close to the camera and talking about the void? Aren't the big two working on some sort of big campaign book based on devils? I like that we just call Chris and Jeremy the big two. I might change it in here to the big two actually. Nah, leave them in there. Fear Daddy. Yeah, that's good actually. I'm gonna get rid of Furry, which I put as Fury.
Hello, Gen Con! How are we all doing today?
Oh, why'd they do that there?
Thank you all for being here. My name is Elise Resendez. I am your senior RPG producer in charge of Daggerheart, and it is my job today to be heralding all of these friends that are about to join me on stage through these shenanigans that we have planned for you. How does that sound? Now, I know it looked like we were on a beach scene, but I'm actually going to wake my computer up. Pachow! And we are going to start this with the clicker of doom. So, did that. Good job. Would you all like to know what we're doing for the next year of Daggerheart?
Mm-hmm.
Would you all like to know what we're doing for the next 2 years of Daggerheart?
Oh.
How about the next 3? Because this isn't Daggerheart next. This is Daggerheart the next 3 years. We have a bunch of announcements. We've got new partners to talk about. We've got new projects in the works, some that are closer to being done than others. We're
next 3 years is crazy.
All of the products, the accessories, the goodies, everything that you're going to be able to see with us for the next 3 years. How does that sound today? Fabulous.
Because it feels unnecessary.
I'd like to
They
get
could
a
have kept
sense
it
of how
all.
many people have traveled.
It's
to
unlike
get
them to
here.
drop
If
everything.
if you're not from Indianapolis. Now, distance isn't always necessarily relatively an expression of how hard it was to get here. Who traveled for
Yes, the
more
buzz
than
is
5
on their
hours
side.
to get here? Who traveled for more than 10? Whoa. Who traveled for 12? 13? 14? 15? 20? 24?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I've
Oh,
got
I hope
one
we eat
hand
good
over- okay,
today.
25.
I hope it's not like they have 2 books planned
27,
for the next 3 years and that's
30
it.
hours.
I hope we get at least something big
One.
every year.
What's your name? Alex, are you a GM or a player? You're both? Which would you like to be for today?
Oh.
You can be a GM. I am going to have we're going to announce some stuff. I have a very special GM giveaway for you. So Alex, when I call for you again, you're going to come up at the end of the show, okay? And we're going to give you some good
Did she just choose someone at random for the gift? Just completely random.
I'd also love to get a sense of how many people have played Daggerheart. If you've played a game of Daggerheart, raise your hands. Who has played 5 games of Daggerheart, 10 games of Daggerheart, 20 games of Daggerheart, 50 games of Daggerheart, 75 games of Daggerheart?
I don't know.
Yeah, 100 games of Daggerheart. What's your number?
They're just, you know,
Can you beat
they're
that?
just getting the crowd nice and ready. It's a live show.
Are you a GM or a player?
Oh, the furthest
Incredible.
traveler. Thank you,
I'm going to
Trimas.
have another very lovely
Thank
giveaway
you.
for you. What is your name? Daniel and Alex, I'm going to call on you guys at the end of the show. We're going to give you some of the prototype products that we're going to be
okay.
announcing on stage today, okay?
If they're telling the truth, you have to like double check with them.
Fantastic.
Get their IDs.
Oh,
Make sure they've
Gen
traveled that
Con.
far. Find their address.
I've set a trap for myself, which is that, thank you, we do this call and response. We've had this cute thing going for a couple of years now, and last year's call and response was very cute. We're just getting started. Well, we've gotten started. We've gotten goddamn well done gotten started. We're started, we're going, but we need another call and response.
I'm going to
The
count
thing
this
I
as
was
just
looking
getting
at was,
started,
like,
even though they're saying we're not going to say it.
should we just call it what it is? If we're talking about 3 years of Daggerheart, all you want is more.
That's the
You
first
want
tick on the
more.
bingo list.
More. So here's what we're gonna do. When I say, what do you want? You're gonna say more.
Oh, they fixed the
Ready?
buzzing. Good job, guys.
Wow,
Good job, sound
okay,
guys.
that room was not ready.
Yeah, I can make the stream louder for you.
Ooh, I love a failed roll in the morning.
As long as it's not louder than me. As long as you can still hear me.
When I say, what do you want? You're gonna say more. Are you ready? Yeah. What do you want? More. What do you want?
Is this better?
Please welcome
Can
to
you
the
hear me
stage
still?
Spencer Stark, Rob
If you
Ager,
hear me,
Matt Mercer, and
type
Jeremy
no.
Crawford.
Let's go!
Sounds good. I sound fine. Thank you. Someone well, what's going on, man?
This is
Mercer,
crazy!
That's a tick.
Hey, everybody!
Hi, everybody.
How are we?
We need Chris and Jeremy
Yeah,
on stage at
I'm
the
talking
same
about
time
it.
to
It's
get the
so
Chris and Jeremy tick.
Gorgeous.
They turned on the sun, Matt.
Good.
Incredible. We're going to be jumping in
gonna
with a
turn it
bunch
down
of stuff.
slightly.
I've got, again, this little clicker's point of doom. Are we ready to get into what we got coming
How's
for
that?
the next 3 years?
Let's go.
Yeah, only one field right now.
Let's go ahead and dig into it then.
Let's get into it.
Let's go. All right, friends. Well, we got some fun partnerships and some cool things coming up here. We work with some incredible people here with the Daggerheart team as far across the entirety of the world.
Matt is cast, but I said when I made it,
you can get Daggerheart in the
he's not
US,
counting.
Canada, the EU, UK, and Australia. We've been working with an amazing network of localization partners to translate Daggerheart.
And for the
deliver
Fear
this
Daddy
game
one,
to even more people and even more
the words
languages and
Fear
regions
Daddy
so
have
folks
to be
can
said
play
on stream.
everywhere. So not only do we have announcements for Daggerheart Core, but we have new localizations in the works right now for Hope and Fear as well.
Yeah, so I don't know how many of you saw, but we launched Daggerheart in Germany, in Germany.
This
at the
is very-
live
this is
show
bigger
that
than you think, by
Matt
the
and
way.
the rest
There's a
of the
lot of,
cast
like,
did, which is incredible.
TTRPG companies
We got to be there,
aren't
and the German crowd was
pushing out
phenomenal.
this hard to the
but
rest
we
of the
also
globe.
have the
American
Brazilian
ones.
Portuguese version coming from Jambo Editora. We have Acheron Games who's tackling our Italian version, which is crazy. Spanish speakers are awaiting their Devere translations.
Also, can
and we
we
also
see
have
this on
Black Book
Twitch?
editions, which
My
is doing
Twitch is really
French.
weird.
So it's just like
can you see the
spreading
stream,
across.
okay?
I'm so excited for all of our
Spencer.
European friends. Yes.
Did you know?
I didn't know.
I did.
Oh, she did, but I didn't know.
You didn't.
It's
know.
in the
Internet's
script, but I
been a bit
haven't read
dodgy,
it.
so I
okay.
apologize.
We have new friends
Okay, good,
joining
good,
our
good.
adventuring
We do,
party.
we do.
We are
Thanks,
so
guys.
thrilled to share that
Thanks, Tech Team.
Club
Game Club.
will be building Hungarian Daggerheart. We've just finalized a partnership with BO3 Studio to translate Daggerheart into simplified Chinese. Pegasus Spiele, Jumbo Editora, Acheron Games, Black Book Editions, and BO3 Studio have also joined us to bring German, Brazilian, Portuguese, Italian, French,
Cool.
and simplified Chinese translations of Hope and Fear as well.
Not just core, but hope and fear. When
I want them to say what hope
when
and
we
fear
were
are
over in Poland
translated
doing a celebration
into
of
every single one
Daggerheart,
of those languages.
the Polish people were like, "Oh my God, the hardest language for us to learn is Hungarian," and they were speaking Polish, which is already like incredible. I was like, "That has to be the hard." So anyway, I'm very, very much looking forward to the Hungarian translation, and I will not be able to read a thing about it. So thank you, friends.
But it's very cool.
It's so cool.
And we are so lucky to have all of these passionate partners working with us to bring Daggerheart around the world. And you can go to daggerheart.com/dhnext to see a list of all of these translations, their release dates, and how to get them.
Esperanza Yimido. Is that hope and fear?
A huge shout out to Shawnette and Trevor, who are
Yes.
our amazing
Welfo,
licensing
Italian gem
team
here.
at
So happy
Critical
we have
Role.
a
They do
Daggerheart in
truly
our language.
God
Nice,
and the
yeah.
devil's work.
It's doing well abroad.
love you.
My videos, a lot of Brazilian
Okay.
people
It
seem
just
to be
says
really into
surprise
it,
on
which
my
I like a lot.
Script.
Yes.
And then, I don't know if you can see this, then it's just blacked out. I don't know if you can
Like
see the
literally, it's just black lines.
We do not know what is coming next.
I would love for you all to look at our lovely screens and tell me, what do these three friends have in common?
That's the Bacat.
Uh-huh.
That's me.
Uh-huh.
That's Badger.
That's Badger.
Badger.
Who here is watching Age of Umbrella Lance right now?
Woo!
Okay.
I'm so happy.
We love Umbies. But what do they all have in common?
They're adorable.
They're little guys. They're just little
They're
guys.
just little guys.
little
And
They are
you
just
know
little
what?
guys.
I think the other thing they have in common is that they might be having plushies coming out.
Okay.
What? Are you serious?
Okay.
Look at them.
So we are partnering with the incredible team, Spencer.
I should have put merch on her. I should have put merch on her.
At
Do they
least
have anything like
do you
this?
have them now so we can
Okay,
Dice
okay,
Fear
listen,
Tracker.
we don't because these are, I had to ask special permission to use these early concept, not approved, not finalized
I have live animal,
images,
but not like-
because you all needed to
live
see
animal.
that these little guys are going to be joining us. We're partnering with U2's, who does these incredible pre-order collections. So here's what I need. If you
Live
want
animals
these,
is relative.
we're gonna
I
have a
guess
lot
they are
more.
live
Again, Daggerheart.com
as far as the
/DHnext.
stream goes, and they're
You
showing
get information
animals.
from this entire panel.
But I want a
so
dog
glad I
to come
came
on.
to this.
I want to see a dog.
I would have missed this.
Matt, I want all of us to learn all the time. And I have to cultivate whimsy
Speranza
somehow. So this is
and
a surprise.
Pora.
So when this
At
campaign
least
launches,
more.
More.
what do they want, Jeremy?
More.
Specifically
Using my own
plushies.
quote
I want
Yes.
more plushies.
All the
There you go.
Against me.
I want to jump into my bed and find Daggerheart boys and girls.
When this campaign is
Can we have,
live
like,
with
pink or
YouTube,
yellow?
we will share all that information out on socials
technically?
and our website. We
Oh,
need people to pre-order these
when I
things
cross
and
it
use
off?
them. And if this does very
I don't
well,
think I can change
we
it.
will do
I don't know enough about what this
More, thank you.
bingo card
There you
thing
go.
I'm using.
More Bacat.
Or
So-
Spencer's as a fraud.
So that was the surprise.
Thank you.
Oh, it's so
And then I just
Oh my
need you all
God.
to know that
So
this
cute.
illustration from Matt Wilma exists. That's it.
That looks like my cat.
Matt
My
did
cat
our
doesn't have
cover
wings.
of Daggerheart, and
But that looks
so
like my
yeah,
cat.
he's amazing.
That's off to you,
I
Matt.
got this Instagram at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Incredible.
Oh, so that's a surprise.
Thank you for the
great
surprise.
surprise.
Yeah. As you know, we are always looking for more ways to show how different
partnerships.
stories can be told in Daggerheart, different worlds can come to
Bards
life
of New
in
York
it.
are good, by the way. They're an actual
We're
play
very
group.
lucky to have some truly incredible actual play storytellers out there who we're excited to announce in these partnerships.
This is new AP, by the
Coming
way.
later in August.
That's new AP.
There'll be a new 10-ish episode live play miniseries by the amazing Bards of New York.
That was
troupe.
something unexpected.
If
Yeah,
you
I want
haven't
something
checked them
very
out, highly
unexpected,
recommend it.
though.
They're
I've
super
had
talented
two
and
kind of
extremely
unexpected
sweet.
stuff.
And they're
We've
filming a
had
trailer right now for the series
that they're
called
releasing
Voltaire's Aces.
3
You're all
years
sitting
worth of
here.
information.
Scroll down.
That was unexpected. 3 years. And yeah, the pushies was unexpected as well.
So, you can watch this series to prepare both players and viewers for the return of their main campaign.
What is new AP, by the way?
Title is Dark
New
Age.
actual play. So a new
The tone
D&D
lands somewhere
show
between the camps of Ocean's
where people
11,
play. I say
Suicide
D&D.
Squad, Dragon Age,
Did I say
that kind of
D&D?
vibe. Their PCs are willing to get their hands dirtier than most.
Meant Daggerheart, please
And they're
forgive
getting
me.
them dirty and
I'm
dagger.
playing D&D right now in my home game, and
We like it
it's
when
infecting my
players get dirty.
mind.
And Daggerheart, yes.
And Daggerheart. But
yes,
find
Daggerheart
out all
show.
the juicy details. This is going bad. At bardsofnewyork.quest.
I know, I feel so bad. Dude, I still do it. Like,
Thank you, Bard.
and I do it the other way around. When I'm playing D&D, I
I'm so
use
excited
Daggerheart
for this
terms
next one,
now as well.
because it's something that everybody's been asking
So
for
there's- I
for
don't
some
think there's
time.
any escaping
we're
it,
really
unless I
excited
only
to announce that we're partnering with
played
Roll and
one
Play
game
Press
forever.
to bring you one-shot wonders, Daggerheart. So this will be an amazing book that has over 100
Okay, I mean, this will be
brand
pretty
new
cool.
adventures for Daggerheart. They are built for all the campaign frames, both in Core and in Hope and Fear. So you have one-shots you can just jump into from both of those books. The
this will be
Kickstarter
very
launches
useful.
this fall, so check out rollandplaypress.com/Daggerheart to be notified when it goes live. Or, since you all are here, you can go to booth 2848 to get a free
Wait.
preview of the book.
Oh.
We're so excited to be
They're not
partnering with
kickstarting
them.
that though, right?
We know adventures have been a huge part of what people have been asking for.
I still say
Because
same
people
for
have
all
been
the time.
asking
Stuff, yeah,
for?
sure.
More.
There's a bunch of stuff
No,
like
but
that.
like legit. Role Play Press have been
They're
such wonderful
incredible.
partners.
Yeah.
They've sponsored us in the past.
Yeah.
There are one-shot wonders books. Saved my ass last Thanksgiving when I was running a one-shot for Marisha's dad.
Nice.
It's a great book, and we're so excited to see
Yeah.
them bring that joy and that talent to
Yes,
Daggerheart.
100%.
Absolutely. And speaking of people we are excited to work with, we have more to talk about
More
Demiplane.
Demiplane stuff.
And Demiplane has been with the team from the very beginning, from the open beta.
Join the
to well
999,000
beyond
characters
to
made.
today.
I've made
The Demiplane
probably a
Daggerheart
good 100 of
Nexus
those.
is launching day and date with Darrington Press Guild stores on August 25th. And anyone who pre-orders Hope and Fear from our Crit Roll stores gets 20% off the digital version.
You keep saying
of the
monsters rather than
Nexus.
adversaries. Yeah, I think it should be a safe space.
and
We can get words
Speaking of the
wrong. I think
Nexus,
we should all
Why don't
agree.
you hop on there
that we
and
can get words
join
wrong.
the over 850,000 Daggerheart characters. that-
Jeremy, I'm
been
so sorry.
updated.
I had to update that. That number is old. I'm scrolling back. I'm scrolling back. I'm scrolling back.
There it is.
Guys, we can knock that over.
Oh my God.
We
It
can knock
literally
that
jumped
over
that much
to
since you started talking.
Yeah.
to a million.
We
can knock that over. We knew that
Ago.
today. Shall we just do that today?
is
Shall we all just
So
go
we
create a
now
character on
need you to
Demiplane?
get on there and get that number to 1 million Daggerheart characters.
You have 30 minutes.
You've
Hell
all just
yeah.
accepted a side quest. Whether you want to or not.
And when you go on,
Wasn't
check
that an
out
insight roll
also the
typo
new
in Hope and
home
Fear? I don't know, was there?
tools, and you can find all of that at demiplane.com.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We are also thrilled to be working with partners like
Yeah, it's a
Alchemy,
Kickstarter. I'm
the
doing Kickstarter then.
wildly gorgeous
the one-shots.
cinematic
So cool.
VTT. They did a brilliant job with Daggerheart Core, and we are so excited to announce that they will be taking on Hope and Fear as well.
Yeah,
which will
those
be
numbers
available
don't
in the
really
coming
mean
months.
much.
So stay tuned for more news on that.
It's still impressive
Alchemy
that
Enhanced
many's been made, but you don't really know what
visit
it means.
alchemyrpg.com/Daggerheart for more.
Hell yeah.
I've known Chris Eddy since 2019, and every time we do another partnership, we go, remember when we met before the world shut down? And now neither of us were doing this, and now we're here. And he goes, yeah, It's so wild. I love it so much.
Alchemy count as a VTT?
What a delight. Oh,
Yeah, it does, right?
We do.
But I did mean.
I want everybody on the internet, in Discord, and in Reddit to hold their
Let's play hard mode. Let's say it's got to be like a new
This is the big
a
one.
new VTT
In
that we don't know
December,
about.
I promised that the team was working hard on adding some additional VTTs to the Daggerheart family. And everybody's been insatiable for it. That's right, they're joining us. It's Foundry.
That's it. That's the one. Foundry was supposed to be
We
part
are
of this.
so thrilled.
Oh, I'm
that
confused about the Foundry
Virtual Tabletop
situation.
and Metamorphic Digital Studios are going to be
It's a
working
safe space, I'll
directly
tell you, I'm
with the
confused about the
incredible
Foundry
system modules
situation.
built by the Foundry-born team. So Foundry-born is laying the groundwork for the entire thing with
So I
Metamorphic
swear
and,
Foundry was supposed to be
Virtual
part of
Tabletop.
it.
The project would not be
Year
possible
one.
without
And then I
these
guess something
very
happened.
passionate and wonderful
And then
developers.
they
The
weren't.
additional modules
And
are
then
expected in the
Foundry-born
fourth
made this great
quarter
VTT,
of
and then
2026.
there was no communication, but now it's official.
And then you can expect Daggerheart, Hope, and Fear hot on
This
their
is pretty
tails.
big.
More premium content coming there. But again, thank you to everyone at Foundry Virtual Tabletop, Metamorphic Design Studios, and the Foundry-born team.
And so I know some of you have been watching Age of Umbra, which is cool. If you haven't, you should check it out. It's great.
It's good.
It's a really dark
CP Blue.
fantasy world of danger and horror, and I put my players through a lot, which is fun. And you know, and that cute little bad guy there, Badger, that's going to get a
be a
little
plushie.
plushie apparently.
I hope
It's
the
super fun.
plushie is
Incredible
like
cast. We had so much fun. The new
as
episode airs
ugly
tonight at
as
7
the
p.m.
actual
Pacific.
image
If you
there.
haven't caught
Cute
up,
ugly.
can
You
watch
know, like
the
a
episodes on
pug
YouTube or
with like
Geeky
wonky
Out
eyes.
TV or Twitch. Definitely check it out. It's an incredible cast. I run an incredible cast. I'm just the doofus at the screen, but it includes Laura Bailey, you know we love her, Jennifer English, Zachary Ronaldo,
Jennifer English.
Vico
I hope we
Ortiz,
see a lot more of her in the actual play
Boubacar
space.
Salim.
Yeah!
They're all killing it, and then I'm killing them. It's
Yeah!
But definitely check it out if you haven't yet. We're having so much fun, and we think you will too.
We also have more episodes in the works of Acquisitions Incorporated
Ooh.
in Daggerheart.
Okay, this would slam the new AP.
For those of you
one.
who don't know,
I wish I
we
could double tick it.
transitioned AC Inc. just this last year at PAX Unplugged into Daggerheart, and the very next episode
Yeah,
is
she's
coming up
fantastic in
at
Age of Umbra
PAX
Season 2.
West.
I
run
love
by
her
Chris
accent
Perkins,
for the
where we
character.
invite you to attend the wedding of Jim Darkmagic. Then at PAX Unplugged, I will be returning to the GM chair since Chris and I love to tag team this, and we are going to start a new season. Watch it.
That was like, is it that kind of panel? I was like, no, it'll never do it. It could be.
The Laura Bailey's rubbed off on me.
For a new season, and the heroes, in giant air quotes, are going to experience probably
Oh, so is
more
Mercer part of this
Fae
cast?
goodness and badness than they've ever experienced before. So join us for all of that in those episodes ahead.
I hate that.
Only one woman on the cast. Yeah, I
well,
wish.
we talked about the next 3 years.
still-
That year includes this year.
That cast is like a
And
lot more
so
diverse
we're
than a
so
lot of
excited,
actual
as
play
I'm sure many of
casts
you
out
know,
there. But yeah, I think the whole
Hope and
industry
Fear
could do
is
better
at
with
this
that
convention.
stuff.
It's premiere here. You can't get it in stores yet.
It's so
if you-
weird.
If you
I keep
pre-ordered it,
thinking
you might
Hope
have
and
gotten
Fear
it,
is
but
out
this is the place to get it. So
my
it is
mind,
here.
but it's not
It's at
for
booth
another month.
2639 and also the sponsored room. ICC 134. But also, if you don't want to carry it here, you can go online, shop.critroll.com.
You've not had your UK
and then
audio?
we
Do
will
you know when you're
officially
gonna
be
get some?
launching on August 25th. It's like the greatest gift in the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Rob,
Speaking of
speaking of making things.
making things
Yeah.
for Daggerheart, if you tuned into the Daggerheart birthday
Yeah.
live stream, you saw that we announced that
The GM screen.
Hope and Fear was going to be added to the SRD.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can make stuff that you want with
Yes,
that
with all the
content.
mechanics from Hope and Fear, and that we will be updating the DP CGL by August 25th.
Yep.
And then you're going to see another new section in the SRD, which is going to be all of the custom mechanics from the campaign frames from both Core and Hope and
Yeah.
Fear.
That's
will
pretty
be
cool.
Available for you to make your own things in. So take them,
Yeah.
break them, remake them, do whatever you want to do.
So
That's
where
really
before
cool, actually.
things like the Colossus mechanics from Core, they weren't in the SRD. Now they're going to be in the SRD, so you can go make
we
all
can
the
make
Colossi
Colossuses.
you want. You can make all the stuff you want from those campaign frames, from those mechanics.
Motherboard Iconus.
Yes, Motherboard Iconus.
Journey to Horizon.
Yep.
Hex crawling.
The hex crawling stuff, all of
stuff
that.
is going to be available in the SRD now.
So go make
Oh,
some cool
that is
stuff.
pretty cool. That is pretty
Cool
awesome.
stuff.
Yes. Speaking of that birthday stream, we also mentioned that we have digital adventures on their way.
Yeah,
And
we're supposed to be getting
we're going to
tons.
see in the months and years, because we're talking about 3 years ahead, a whole span of different types of adventures.
Next free adventure dropping in
They're going
August.
to bounce around the different tiers of play. You're going to see different genres. You're going to see us touching on different campaign frames. Stay tuned for that.
Oh, that's
The
cool,
first
actually.
one of those adventures is dropping in August. And one I can
Don't I have an
tease
adventure?
for
Yeah,
you is
I'm
to
hitting
give
the
you an
adventure
idea of how
thing.
vast this territory is going to be that we're exploring.
Wait, how does bingo work?
We're
If I get
going
a
to
full
even
line,
have
is
an
that bingo?
adventure for you
Is
to
that how
play
bingo works?
Based on our hit game Familiar Find.
Well, we're not getting
And
Artificer
so
anyway.
if you love those cute little critters, we're going to have an entire adventure all about them. You might even get to play one. Also, if you haven't downloaded it already, go to daggerheart.com and check out The Wish Thief, a free adventure that we released to celebrate
I like The
1
Wish Thief.
year
I
of
liked it.
Daggerheart. You
It's
can
got like some
download
really
that
fun
and play that now.
mechanics in it.
Yeah, definitely check out the Familiar Find adventure when it hits.
It's such a good game.
It's like Animorphs without the war crimes. I think you'll dig it.
Matt, I described the adventure as Carmen Sandiego played by the cast of Homeward Bound, and Carmen is a witch.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
the
solid.
vibe. That's the vibe for the Familiar Find adventure.
Yeah.
How many
Very
people are watching
exciting.
this?
We also have some exciting announcements
2,200. Not bad.
for everybody in the Discord.
Are they on
playing
Twitch
bingo.
as well?
I am very, very excited to say that we have a release date for our lovely With Love and Magic, which is our standalone campaign frame that we've been working on. Coming this fall, folks will be able to get their hands on With Love and Magic as a digital purchase online.
had campaign
No
in it,
waiting for the
something like
ocean, no fighting with shipping direct from the digital
Campaign frame
ecosystem
setting, done.
into your hands. Rob, if you wanted to, do you want to? I mean,
do like a little- you wanna do a
Jeremy
little-
did a little spoiler. Do you want to do a little spoiler of what people can?
Spoiler-free.
Yeah, spoiler without. Nobody's listening. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
The Shadow Daddy will see you now.
Shadow Daddy?
Shadow Daddy.
Hell yeah.
What If We Kissed, the role-playing game?
Yes, good.
Or The Enemy of My Enemy is My Boyfriend.
Yeah,
I know, they should have called it Fear Daddy.
Any of those.
that's the game I'm playing.
Oh,
Yes.
Little spoiler phrases. You get to pontificate with it.
well, they've said the words Fear and
know.
Daddy,
Of,
just
How
not
Dark and
together.
Serious. Those of you who joined us for free RPG Day got a chance to check out the Dying
New Daddy
Spire,
just dropped.
which was our continuation from the Quick Start adventure, The Sablewood Messengers. For anyone who wants more playable content for Daggerheart right now, you can head to booth 2639 or room ICC 134 to buy your own copy of The Dying Spire. That's available now.
Yeah.
Here.
Great.
It's a fun little booklet, and
It's cool, yeah.
they've done a really good job. It's a cool little
It's got
prototype.
it's got some paper craft.
It's got some paper crafts. There are standees and pre-gen characters, so it is literally plug and play, pick up and go.
Heck yeah.
All right, man,
Okay,
I'm so excited
cool.
for this one.
Yeah, we all like to see more Daggerheart in action in our content sphere. I don't know why I'm saying it like this.
I feel like I'm still waiting
peek
for
into
the
chaos that is my
for
brain
a
at
big
given point in
announcement,
time.
you know?
So we're super excited to invite you all to join GM Chris Perkins later this year for a live
I don't think
mini
Chris
series
Perkins is here,
set
is he?
in the
We're
Reign
not
of the
gonna get
Were-Dragon
Chris and Jeremy.
campaign frame from Hope and Fear that you'll get to check out when you do check it out at the con after the panel, right?
Get on that.
So Chris Perkins is going to be running us through this amazing adventure. A lot of friends in the space will have more information on that, dates and cast in the near future, so keep an eye and an ear out. But it's going to be fun, and it's going to be stressfully live again.
That's cool. Okay.
And we're excited
Live
to be
is
talking
fun,
about all of
yeah.
this because it's going to be like peppering through this year, next year, the next 3 years. We're excited to be expanding the team. We're adding more people in our halls. We're adding more freelancers. We're excited to be building more because everybody
New
wants.
hires. I took that out.
Well, then how does
I
two
had new
books
hires
a
in there, but I
year
took it
sound,
out.
friends?
Every year.
We are working on the next
Okay.
3 years. We have ideations in the works for projects that are going to take us all the way into, oh dear God, Wait for it.
We can't be.
2030.
We can't be approaching 2030. I don't want to do that.
We're not going to tell you what they all are
We're
right
not
now.
going to tell you what they are, but
Not-
we're,
yeah,
we're
no.
gonna spoil a little bit of it. But what we're working on are two tentpole projects. These are going to be different from the two kinds of games that you've seen so far. Both Daggerheart Core and Hope and Fear have been rules expansions, which gives you a Swiss Army knife of everything. We're going to be working on setting books, campaign books, adventure books, and more, which is very exciting. So we're now going to go down a list
I have
of
setting books in here?
approved spoilers.
I guess campaign frame setting.
We couldn't tell you what they are or when they are, but we skirted legality. Rob, you used to be a lawyer.
Should I start?
I think you should start us
the
off.
adventure
Rob used to be a lawyer.
anthology?
Yeah.
Chris Perkins
Lord
is
Rob.
leading the creation of an anthology of adventures for Daggerheart. He's writing one of them. If you like sirens and sea shanties, this product is for you. If you like cowboys and monsters, this one is for you. If you like classic fantasy with a twist, this one's for you. I have a couple of spoilers.
Yeah.
Rootin' tootin' coffin shooting.
Right.
A very angry pile of dirt. And people so sleepy that they can see through time.
Relatable.
And we will tell you.
Yeah, that's something
way
unexpected.
more
There's been
about all
enough.
of this
There's been enough for the
in
something
months
to be
ahead.
unexpected. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is Rowan Hall and our very good
So that's
friend
an anthology of
are
adventure
the
books.
lead designers of our
Right.
very first official setting book for Daggerheart.
Ooh.
So excited for it. So this is a place that embraces all the wonder, hope, and danger of Daggerheart Core. It's a place that we're saying, like, we want to make the bad worth fighting and the good worth fighting for, and
This is what I
it's
wanted.
in a world you might recognize.
What does it mean, Spencer?
More
You
to
can't
come
tell them.
very soon. Okay, two spoiler points. Anything can be a kaiju if you squint. And we're spell checking Archipelago at least 20 times a day. So those are the two.
All right.
Interesting.
Last year at this very panel, we announced that I have been leading the creation of another new setting for Daggerheart that we have described simply as devilishly spooky.
Blood Hunter,
And-
Summoner.
Players on Discord.
And the thing that I have loved about this one is this one you're already seeing. Because if you have been paying attention to our recent Void drops, they are a part of this book. And so we will unveil how deep
YouTube
this
live chat's
devilish
about being
spookiness
Exandria setting book.
goes
I don't think it will be.
in the year ahead. But the good news is you're reading.
I don't think it
parts
will
of
be
now.
because,
So please gaze into the void.
I think the
because this
core
book is
Daggerheart
going
book,
to be gazing back
like
at
the setting that I
And
talked about, I think it's the
Jeremy, I'm
original
reading
setting.
your
We'll talk about it in a bit,
spoilers. These
actually.
are
We'll talk about it in a bit.
Crazy.
Yes. One of the spoilers I will tell you right away is please do watch Age of Umbra Shadowlands because there are parts of this book in Age of Umbra Shadowlands. I'm not going to
Sneaky,
say
sneaky.
what, but
Yeah.
pay very
I don't think
very
we knew that
close
you did that until we watched the episode.
Yeah, we're like,
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. I may have snuck in some for the
Sneaky, sneaky,
future
sneaky.
as just a little treat.
Yes.
It's a treat for you guys.
Now, would any of you like to
Sneaky
share
daddy.
any of these other little spoilers
Mercer?
related to this devilish spookiness?
I like welcome to the end of the world now with taxes. I don't know what that means, but I'm so excited for it.
Jeremy, I would like to say New Engineering Triangle just dropped Fast, Cheap, and Not Possessed.
Yep. That's pretty fun.
Faster puppy dog kill is.
Yeah,
It's very
That's
good.
great. I'm going to go with experience everything downtown has to offer. Beautiful architecture, stylish locals, and absolutely catastrophic vibes.
Do you think
And
it's
then I'll end with come
the
on
hell's-
in and
the
get
circles
trapped
below? Do you think it's hell?
inside an MC Escher painting.
It's going to be good, y'all.
Yes.
And, I mean, speaking of Void
it's kind of giving
drops,
has-been hotel vibes?
We got some other fun things in the future for the Void to keep an eye out for. Some gentle
Void.
teases just to kind of let you think
Oh,
about
if we get item cards, we got bingo, baby.
Board, if you will.
Yeah, sure, come here. Something for players to sink their fangs into. I'm something of a scientist myself. And give me a presence roll to kiss that guy. We're also reprinting some limited runs you've been asking for, and we've been asking for and get granted permission to abscond with the intaglio plates from the Bureau of Engraving and Printing.
Yes.
And imagine opening Al Capone's vault and actually finding something.
You're a little bothered about not a direct announcement of a book, but an
this
illusion
last
of books.
one
They
is
did
very
say they were going to
exciting me
announce
because
3
we have
years
been
worth of
asking
content,
for
and it
quite a
does feel
while
like
for some new goodies. Some
they're
things to be deck
giving us
your
3 years
GM
worth of
table, if
spoilers,
you will.
like
I am
of
very happy to
little
say that
silhouettes.
we are showing for the first time on stage the art for the GM screen.
GM
which
screen.
will be landing November of this year.
Yes.
So
Right.
cool.
Just in time
Beautiful.
for Boxing Day.
We had Matt Wilma back to expand the world. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't know who these 2 guys are, but they're gonna save the planet. We're also very excited.
These 2
In
guys.
November, you will also be able to find the adversary cards, which are coming. Along with the fear trackers, all of these are standalone.
Okay,
you
hold
don't
on.
need to have gotten a deluxe edition. You can have these for your table.
Adversary cards and adversary
We
book.
had some fun
But fear
reveals
tracker.
at the opening ceremonies. We also showed some T-shirts that maybe if people would like a Fear Daddy or a Hope Mother.
We got Fear Daddy. Oh my God, it's
asking
happening,
personal
guys. We're gonna
favor
get a
and say,
full
"Get on here."
lockout of bingo.
And I'm also very happy to say that our lovely GM is going to be having the first GM screen. You're gonna be able to walk out with that today after we're done playing with it.
Stop giving everything to this one guy.
And for traveling the farthest, we're gonna give you your choice of a Fear Daddy or a Hope Mommy shirt, one of only 3 others in existence for
The
now.
Hope Mummy's cool.
And then I think it's time for Tabletop James.
Okay, let's do some
I
games.
think we play some games.
Okay.
So give us a moment. We're going to reset everything. You're going to be able to have folks here for some games. We're going to be adding some more people. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
You're going to be able to find us there.
Okay, I got thoughts, which we'll
We're
do
going
after
to
it.
shepherd all these folks off. GMing tonight, Spencer Stark. Joining them, Matt Mercer, Chris Perkins, Rowan Hall, and Vico Ortiz.
Get up here.
Yeah. There you go. Oh man.
All right. We're not going to watch this. If you guys, you can go over and watch it on their official channel if you want to watch this actual play. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. But we're going to chat a little bit about what just happened because I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts. Here, let me get rid of the bingo card. Because we did not make bingo. We did not, unfortunately. We came close, though. We got a fair amount in there. Hold on. But yeah, what do you guys think? I need to open up Spotify again. Let's get some tunes going on. Oh, let me know if that's too loud. Chris is on stage for the AP. Okay. Then I would count that as Jeremy and Chris. But it's still not bingo. Let me just get rid of this bingo screen. There we go. Yeah, what do you guys think? Let's hear it all. With the hints of the setting books we recognize might be Shattered Teeth of Exandria. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's Exandria. I've come out and said that I would love an Exandria. I'd love them to transfer Exandria over to Daggerheart in some capacity because I think that will A, bring over a lot of critters, and B, I like the world of Exandria. But the way they talked about that first setting book, which they were trying to get, like, incorporate the very vibes of Daggerheart, I feel like they want to go down a route of something not so set in stone, because Exandria is so set in stone, and it's very hard for them to go and just add stuff to it. Like, for example, are ribbits a thing in Exandria? I don't think so. They have clanks, but they're not called clanks, if that makes sense. Like, they would have to go in and change fundamentals of how Exandria works, so it fits perfectly with, like, Daggerheart. I'm not sure they would do that for the first thing, but I would love it if it would. I would love it. They did the same as on their birthday, which is mildly frustrating. Teasing here, teasing there, but nothing with hand and food. It kind of felt like a nothing burger. Shadows of some huge announcements, but few actual announcements. Not disappointed by any means. 3-year plan was exciting, but then kind of fell flat. Little disappointed, but also excited for some. Expected more. That was, the adversary cards will be good. It's been a year. Everything they're working on is not finished enough to share. I still need to know about the third-party creator. I'm going to be able to sell on VTT. I kind of wish they would have stretched out the 6th book over 3 years into 1 book over 6 years. What? Because creating the 3D party of manual is torture. I believe Cobalt Press is coming out with Daggerheart stuff soon. Yes, that is true as well. We will be getting stuff from third parties. Like, we'll be getting Cobalt Press stuff, I think, right? And then, I can't remember what the announcement was for that. And obviously, we're going to be getting, like, Dungeons and Drakenheim as well. I'll be buying the GM screen, so I don't have to use my collector's one. Yeah, I've been pretty public about saying that I was pretty disappointed with both the GM screens we've seen so far with the limited edition stuff. And I presume the new GM screen is going to be exactly the same as the one we received with Hope and Fear, which it is what it is. I'm sure some people find it useful. I think I'm a little upset just because I'm not a CR fan and because I can speak English. The translation stuff doesn't excite me that much. Well, don't be upset about it. You can be disappointed. Don't be upset. We do have to keep in mind that we're still getting Hope and Fear, so we probably won't see the next book until next summer. I think they said 2 a year, right? They said 2 books a year for 3 years, which is pretty cool. So what the actual news is, I guess, the big news is that they're ramping up production. So they're going from making, it's only been a year, but they're going from, dropping 1 big release a year to what sounds like 2 big releases a year, which is good. That's like big news, and I do like that. 2 books a year is good, but I'm hoping lineages and other content isn't hidden within campaign frame books. I don't want. It probably will be. I would have loved to see a magnetic modular one, like a Fear Tracker, or a GM screen, or both, I guess. They'd go together. I do hope the new GM screen has different panels, yeah. We need more domain cards for the existing domains, as well as more monsters and subclasses. I'm disappointed. Next 3 years and what they show is so weak, and the Dying Spire not dropped online, but they could, but they decided to keep it for Gen Con and sell. I would bet March 2027 for the next book. Yeah, I think May. I think we'll see. I have no idea. I think but just from my educated guess is that we're going to see like summer and winter releases. So we're going to be seeing a release around May, and then a release around like September, November. But we'll see. I've heard so many people, especially critics, that are wishing for a GM screen like the ones from Wormwood. Oh. Would be amazing to have that. They're not going to do that. That would be, like, if you're talking about like a well-made, like wooden, sturdy thing, I don't know. That's so pricey. I'm not sure they would do it. But a third party probably will. I think the 3-year plan was probably a bad choice of words. This feels like will nothing for long. Yeah, we won't know much for a while, I feel like. So, okay, look, what they talked about was all good. What are you reacting to? It's the Gen Con Daggerheart panel where they announced everything they're working on for the next 3 years. I mean, playing without translation feels weird because you constantly have to slip and fall. Yeah, look, we can all agree. There's kind of two major things going on here. There's like what is good for the game, and what's good for like everyone, and then there's what's good for like me or you independently. What do we want? And I think this panel is good for the game because it's done three things. It's said that they're listening and they're branching out. Like Foundry VTT is one of those things that's been a thing at the back for a while where it's like, what's happening there? They sorted that. They squashed that. Localization with languages in different countries, very good thing, right? We can all agree. Like, I know we can be like, it doesn't affect me, but it's like, that's cool. I'm glad they're doing it. Plushies, not that bothered about. I don't know. That's more of like a Critical Role Age of Umbra fan thing than a Daggerheart fan thing. The new actual plays coming out, including Acquisition, is cool for actual play fans, but I think in general they've announced these big actual play partners like every kind of big convention, and they make the actual play, and then I'm not sure it's just marketing for them, you know? They might as well just this sounds like harsh, but they might as well just be being like, oh, and we're going to spend another, $100,000 on a marketing campaign, is what they're fundamentally saying. It's just that the fans of those individual actual players will be very excited for that, but the mass kind of audience who just play Daggerheart, it's not going to do much for them. The plushies are cool to me because the badge looks like your dog. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not. It's all cool. Plushies, Foundry, official translations, and actual plays. Yeah, those were kind of like the things leading up to... I think there was something else as well. And then I'm saying, yeah, $2 a year for 3 years. They didn't announce anything. That's my big problem here, is that they've not really announced anything. They've mostly done teases. Their prerogative. It would have been nice if they got that first book that's coming out next year. And because even if they just showed us, like, gave us a name and showed us the front cover, or work in progress front cover, and a very short blurb, they could still keep so much of it a mystery. But I've said this before, and this is not negative. I think it's actually a good thing. It's just sometimes too good for people like me and yourselves who want the juicy thing. They have a very good marketing team, and they will be planning to drip feed information at other events over the next year. So they're taking the hype that would come from this, and rather than just being super hype here and then not hearing about anything for a year, which people have like complained about in the past, like, oh, the hype's dying down, they should do stuff. It's like they're like saving tidbits of information to, and here, big bits of information to drop at later days, is what I think is happening. And like, that is like good for the brand. That's actually very good marketing, but for like the individual fans, it's a tease. It's a tease. It was an announcement of an announcement, a teaser of a teaser. But that being said, as critical as I am about it, it's put me in a good position to be like, we're getting stuff. You know, I'm confident we're getting stuff now. As a creator with this channel, it's nice to know that I'm going to be able to make content. In fact, it's better for me because now I can make other announcement streams and videos more often. Rather than us just knowing a lot of stuff early on and me not being able to make content about anything for months. Now I get to drip feed it as well. Actually, I love it. I love it. No notes. No, it's nice to know that I can still make content moving forwards. It's nice to know that they have a 3-year plan and beyond, because it's a confidence thing. I'm more confident in the system now and Darrington Press dealing with the system. But yes, they must have thought at one point. I'm trying to run a fine line between being a fanboy and defending them too much, because I love Daggerheart and they're great, and being a critical person on YouTube, because being critical and being cynical is just an easy thing to fall into, and it often like gets better views and stuff. I'm trying to work a fine line here between the middle, but I am just genuinely a little bit disappointed with this one. I am genuinely a little bit disappointed. They must have had a conversation beforehand, like, is this enough? And they must have looked at it and thought, could we do better? I'm sure they have very good reasons why they can't release stuff, but it makes me think that, like, I don't know what the deal is. We'll find out though. We'll find out. There'll be stuff we don't know about that's like stopping them, I'm sure. I think they're going to be revealing stuff during the AP today. The one that's happening right now. Let me know if anyone's watching that as well and has had anything revealed yet. People talking about a hype cycle dying if people aren't looking at third-party creators or playing the game, just my opinion. The hype cycle is a dumb thing as far as it doesn't affect the game. When people were like, oh, I'm not playing Daggerheart now because Critical Role aren't playing Daggerheart, they're playing D&D. Do you like Daggerheart? Play Daggerheart. If you don't like Daggerheart, don't play Daggerheart. Don't base what you're playing on what Critical Role are playing. That kind of hype stuff's dumb. But from my point of view, once again, I have a channel. I have different stakes in. I make money from Daggerheart in a way. I have different stakes in this. I think managing hype it's marketing fundamentally. It's not hype, it's marketing. Having good marketing means products do better, they sell more, they get a wider reach and a bigger audience, and then that allows for the products to get better over time because they're making more money. So that's, in my world, like, hype is important for that. But yes, for the individual person who doesn't have any stakes in this, play the game if you like it. And I'm sure, like, they're looking at me complaining that I wanted more from this announcement, and they're like, we are dropping hope and fear, and you got it sent to you early, and you've got all this new content, and I'm sure they're like, chill. Like, there's definitely a level of, and this is not just in Daggerheart, it's like any fandom where, like, the more tagline that they've kind of taken on board and reclaimed is actually like a mocking thing of, like, we'll never be satiated. Like, what kind of announcements would I really want where I would be overly happy? Yeah. Imagine Darrington Press will produce a lot of books and cards for Daggerheart. Third party will make adventures, and as far as I've seen, they've been good quality so far, although in PDF form. Yeah. The spoilers being inside a random PDF file in the iPad is crazy. The title of this video is Huge Daggerheart Announcement, but looking back now, I'm not sure what that was. I thought we were going to get we got 3 years worth of announcements. If the product is good, GMs are passing them on to the players, no matter how involved players are in the news or release environment. Yeah. Flooding the floor with potential content rather than drip feed hits the wrong type of hype. Slow drip better than mass infusion of expectations that could easily slip. They also, all these books they're working on are probably in very early stages. They're probably still figuring out exactly what they need to be and what they want to be. So that's probably the main reason. And I'm sure as they start getting more solidified, we'll start seeing a lot more. So I think the silver lining here is that this Gen Con, they announce we're working on 6 books. It's fundamentally what they've done. That's pretty big. That's a big announcement. They're working on 6 books that will be released over the next 3 years. Then next Gen Con, we'll get information, hopefully about all 6. And then the next Gen Con will have like a few books out already, but we'll get to see even more of the books coming. So I think this is like the start of like a snowball of information we're going to be getting, and we're going to be getting more and more as these books materialize. Unfortunately, no, you get better metrics of releasing a lot of stuff, even though it does come to pass. Personal experience in the video game industry. The coolest announcement is the setting book coming and whatever Perkins is working on with the Bloodhunter. Bloodhunter and Summoner, yeah. Yeah, you know, the craziest thing is here is that I think I would have been just a lot happier if they'd just given us the name of the Bloodhunter book and a piece of art. I think that would have been enough to satiate, like, this is what we're getting. I think it's being Gen Con, they should have had an announcement that had Daggerheart fans excited. I don't feel bad about Daggerheart after this, but this was a meh. That didn't leave me excited for anything specific. Film pipeline development, prod, post type thing. Yeah. Pieces of art are not ready. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It is what it is. It is what it is. Got to compare it to like other TTRPGs as well. I think we have some more announcements from different TTRPGs happening, I think, over the next few days. So I'm going to go live later, I think, on my other YouTube channel, the D&D one, to watch the D&D announcement. And we can do a little compare contrast. Not that we are pitting them against each other, but just to see the difference in like how they're handling these things. Do you think you'll make content speculating about the content of the books? The question is, do you guys want that kind of content? Because I am happy enough to do speculation videos. I want to stream more, so I'm going to be talking about that kind of stuff. But I don't want to flood people's feeds with nothing burger videos. Like, a video that is just me speculating about stuff, I don't know if you guys would want that. Because at the end of the day, I don't know more than you know. So I'm just taking, like, the information that's out there and putting it all together. And hopefully making videos that people can, like, build a little bit of a community around, just to give Daggerheart that more of that feeling. But I don't think they would be my proudest videos. Yeah, Hope and Fear was probably easiest to make too, which means they had something to show last year. This year, adversaries and settings, those are harder to make for Daggerheart, yeah. They also, didn't they talk about the fact that they had to cut a lot of stuff from the core rulebook as well? So maybe they just had some of that Hope and Fear stuff ready to go. I'd enjoy content which is reasonable speculation without multiple videos of the same speculation. Like me personally, I'd assume there will be a second class with the blood domain. I think you might be right. I think you might be right. And I wonder if we'll get another domain. What I'm interested in, what are they gonna do with legacy domains? By legacy domains, I don't mean like, I mean just the domains from the core rulebook. Because they can totally, and I know people want it, like build out more abilities that sit within those domains. And I presume that's what they're gonna do. But I also think they want to keep it balanced across the board. So if they introduce like a new ability to one domain, they have to introduce that a new ability to every other domain. So it's like the same amount of cards. So maybe they would do it in sections, like 4 new abilities. Like the book comes out, and every domain that's been released so far officially gets 4 new abilities, or 1 new card for every level. Would be interesting. It would be interesting. Hopefully they slow down new domains and make classes with old domains, yeah. I'd enjoy maybe a tech domain and a chaos wild magic domain. Then we slow down for a bit. I have to say that the one thing that I think is missing from Daggerheart right now is a Tinkerer Artificer type class. I've surprisingly had multiple players express a want to play some kind of inventor or creator or explosives expert. There's something about the system that the kind of chaos that brings is a lot of fun. And I think as far as Tinkerers go, I mean, there's a potential to make something that can create like turrets or little machines, but then they have to figure out the summoning or minion mechanics. I'm not sure I like it currently in its current void state on the summoner, but we will see. Mind you, we have similar like minion rules when it just comes to the ranger. Still Cage, what's going on? You're just worried about overlap with new domains. It's through balance. 1 more card per domain and level is fine. If you add more, it will get unwieldy fast. You want to keep it lean. I also feel like they have to it has to make sense as well. So within the domains, you could create like new abilities for every domain, but they're all based in like a certain niche. You know, like you could release abilities and spells for every domain, but every ability domain is like in a pack that's like otherworldly, or in a pack that's like the circles below. And you just got to get flavorful with how, say, the Guardian can have a circles below ability, which you can definitely figure out if you get creative. And that way it's like, do we include the circles below pack? And that way it doesn't get as unwieldy because it's a separate thing, an optional thing. Doesn't Zack the Bold use a gun in Age of Umber? I believe guns are available in Hope and Fear and the core rulebook. But are you still, KJ? Did you watch the live stream? There was an interesting thing that where they said there was spoilers from the like horror-based book in Age of Umbra, so maybe something like that gun could be it. I'd enjoy the summoner subclass where they were bonded with the summon, or maybe that's a new class similar to Yuta and Vika from JJK. I think sounds first released in D&D. Yeah, it's hard to get like to create a summoner where you have a summons that you always have is pretty much the ranger though. I feel like you could create a new ranger subclass that has that kind of ability, and then it has to be different enough and balanced well that it's not like stepping on the toes of the other ranger subclass. Summoning for me is genuinely, I think they're on the right track by being like, I create a summons that appears and attacks and then disappears again. I think there is something very simple about that as like a lot of your abilities, but then I think one ability should be that you can summon like a companion that stays with you a lot of the time as well, that can do stuff and change form, and then it's about figuring out how to have that kind of play in combat's the big problem in fight scenes. Arcane Rifle and Rune Lock Pistols are weapons in Hope and Fear. That sounds cool. Maybe they could make an optional rule for domain team-ups, like the Help action, but you and your party member make some sort of super move. Just snowballing here, lol. You mean like a tag team? Or you mean something different from the tag team rules that are already in there? I do think they can expand the tag team rules in a big way. I think that could be fun. I'm thinking about like homebrewing something, which is like a... I don't think it should be once a session, because it could be too often, but some kind of ability that if everyone spends 3 hope, they can all jump in on it, and it is like a Avengers style portals open, Avengers assemble, mega team up, where everyone in the party does something to attack the guy. That could be cool. Maybe the bad guy has to have 1 HP left, so that it's kind of the finishing blow, but it guarantees it finishes them off, and everyone does something. I don't know. That's something that would be fun once or twice, but you could not have it happen like every session or every other session, because it'd have to be strong enough to be worth it, but also not strong enough where it could outright kill anything. Drum roll, please, for Phil creating a new class as part of a new adventure he's writing. Honestly, I have no interest in creating a new class. I like the idea of writing adventures and making environments and adversaries, but making subclasses is, and this is the same with other TTRPGs, it's a level of game design that I don't want to get into. I don't love game designing mechanically. I like it narratively. So if I get to create like an environment with some things that you roll on and some explanations there, I'm thinking about how it affects the players and the story, and how it makes the game more fun. And the same with adversaries, because adversaries in Daggerheart are so simple that being creative and trying to make fun adversaries to play against and control is a lot of fun. But making a full class is... You've got to really get into the mechanics. I have no interest in doing that currently. There are much better people out there for that kind of thing than me. If I ever like created a full... I would love to work with someone who had that kind of mechanical mind, so that I can just come in with these narrative ideas and these cool ideas, and then another person can be like, that can't work, or we can't do that, or that would be unbalanced, and they can kind of put me in my place, and we can kind of meet in the middle and create something like that. But it won't happen for a while. Possibly, I'd like the idea of being able to almost switch fighting styles by spending a hope, which lets you change between focusing on working with the summon. Yeah, that's cool. They have something very similar with the martial artist brawler class, where they switch between fighting styles by spending focus. So you'd have like a separate summoning resource. That would actually be really cool, actually, Raw. I think that's very cool. And you would spend that to summon different things and to use them to do stuff. Like, you can summon a eldritch being into combat, and then it kind of is just there until you spend a focus point to control it or to command it. Because it's not easy. It takes a lot from the summoner to control and command these creatures. And I think there's even a level of, if you summon a creature that is strong and you use it to attack an enemy, but you roll with fear on that roll, then that you temporarily lose control of that creature, and the GM gets to spotlight it and spend a fear to attack the party itself. That could be a good way, but that would suck, because if you were another party member and someone was playing a summoner because they wanted that risk-reward situation, and suddenly the summoner was summoning things to the battlefield that were then attacking you, you'd be like, I don't want to play with a summoner anymore. So maybe it only attacks the summoner back, which could also work because it's pissed off because it just got summoned here and it's being controlled by the summoner. So you roll with fear, you get attacked. You roll with hope, it attacks the enemy. And either way, it does a ton of damage. So it's like worth it. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't have that kind of mind. Class design is work, yeah. Giving the summoner a semi-nerf tag team ability would be cool. That's true, where you work with the summons. Really excited for the adversary cards. I am and I'm not. I want to write all over my adversary cards and take notes and stuff. Otherwise, they would be useful for referencing, but do I have it up here? Do I have my Daggerheart box set up here? We have the pads now. Oh, I have the pads now. So I'm just going to be using the pads in a similar way. Oh, I left my tab thing deep in here. Can I get this out? Come on. Yeah, so, I mean, it's just fundamentally these. And the only thing the adversary cards are going to do for me is that I don't have to write all the stuff out. But if they make this available, if they make adversary cards available online, and I'm saying this now, I'm like, do we have them already? That I can just print out on paper and then write on. I'm doing that. But we actually have adversary cards online already. But yeah, I just want to be able to write all of them. As a GM, I would love a full campaign book so I can get a bit of a break from creating so much. That's why you need a lot of playtests, yeah. I think adversary pads are cool for creating the adversary, but what I've been really needing is an adversary pad that has HP and stress that I can mark mid-game. Do they not have that? Right, I know you. Yeah, because obviously depending on the adversary, it's going to have different HP and stress. That makes sense. But I would just like write it down. I would just like mark them down here, how much HP and stress they have, so you can cross them off. And doing it in pencil obviously means you can rub stuff out. I've talked about this as well, right? That I had a moment where if you're from England, rubbing stuff out is a very normal thing to say at school. When you have an eraser, you just rub it out, right? You make a mistake, you rub it out. I said that here at my table of North Americans, and what they heard was rubbing one out, and they did not like that. And it's something I never thought about. It's something I never thought about. No, it's what you do. Everyone in England is just rubbing it out, you know? At school. Any English people in chat, please back me up here. I really want to see the new art for adversaries. I might even be interested in making 3D models. Oh, very cool. Paul, you'll collab with me on content. Give me a shout. I think the adversary pads are cool for creating adversary. Yes, I read that already. Yeah. So what's the announcement? I missed over an hour. Michi, the announcement, and depending on whether you think this is good or not, is up to you. The announcement is that the big announcement is that they're going to be releasing 2 books a year for the next 3 years. One of those books is going to be a setting book, and the other book is also going to be a setting book. But based around some kind of horror hellscape situation. The first setting book is going to be like what sounds like the most vanilla Daggerheart experience you can have, which I think is good. If it's too much risk to use an ability, you wouldn't use it. If it's something that works better, like simply attacking, you would do that instead. So why having that ability? It's tough balance. Yeah, it is. The abilities I like are like the high risk, high reward abilities where you could do a bunch of damage, but it could also backfire and affect you in a negative way. And that way, you wouldn't use the ability often. It's there as like a kind of like mutual destruction button. You're like, I've got to pull out this, you know, red alert, I'm pulling out this ability. But having it, you don't want to negatively affect the fun of the other players around the table by doing something like that. So that's the hard balance part. But my favorite abilities aren't anything to do with that anyway. My favorite abilities are the non-combat based ones that affect the narrative. I love the Witch's main ability in Hope and Fear, where they can see the future. And there's mechanics involved in that as well. I absolutely love that. As a GM, I think it actually makes my life easier, because it forces me to come up with what's going to happen next, or something that's going to happen next, or some form of it, and then it kind of forces me to go in that direction. It's kind of nice. It tricks myself into giving myself direction. So there's another one coming out this year, or they're starting next year. I think they said 2027, right? Did they give an actual release date for the first one? 2 books a year is great. It's the problem is that they didn't give us like any real information about them. It's like the whole thing with fanny pack meaning something completely different. Yeah. From Scotland, yes, we'd call it rubbing out. Thank you, Wolf. Thank you. Oh, Roz, I like that actually with the summoner idea, that you're linked, and if the summoner takes damage, you take damage. Or it takes energy from you to keep it summoned to this plane. So every time there's like a countdown where you lose stress, the more time it's out. So that, yeah. There's a lot of stuff they could do with it. Like I've said, I think the summoner's going to change a lot before we see it. Yep, England, school, death, rub out. How do I feel about the dark fantasy emphasis? By that, if you mean like that it's... Because obviously Hope and Fear lent into this dark fantasy thing with its transformations. You know, vampires and werewolves and witches and whatnot. There's definitely like a hint at that. And then one of the 2 books that's been announced is heavily dark and horror themed. I think the emphasis won't be as strong when we go into next year. I think what's probably going to happen, I'm just realizing this now, is the next 2 books we get in 2027, hopefully, will be a Book of Hope and a Book of Fear, right? And the Chris and Jeremy book, the horror-based one, is the Fear version, and the vanilla fantasy Daggerheart book is going to be, I think they even said it, it's about like people overcoming adversity and having hope. So we'll probably get like a hope-based book and a fear-based book. And saying that out loud now, I think we might get that every single year. And it won't be obvious like this is hope, this is fear, but those are going to be like the kind of themes that run through them. So while it sounds like now there's like an emphasis on the fear, I don't think we'll be saying the same thing in a year or 2. I think there'll be a healthy balance. As far as like just how I feel about another book that might be a little bit dark and leaning into those almost Ravenloft themes, I love it personally because I love playing those kind of games. It's kind of my jam is to lean more into that stuff. I think I've said it in the past where there's something about running like a scary kind of horror-based campaign. Maybe not fully that, but like a darker vibes. Because in my experience, players always bring a lightness. They always bring a little bit of absurdity. They always bring a little bit of comedy, and that really like pulls away from the darkness a little bit. So if you make a game that's too fun and comedy based, for me personally, it ends up going too far that way, and it's hard to pull it back from that absurdity. I've had a lot of comments on my YouTube videos recently because I've started in both D&D and Daggerheart. I've started saying this is my opinion or this is subjective, and people seem to have an issue with that. People are like, you should have more confidence in what you're saying, and I'm like, I'm confident that this is subjective. I'm not going to say something that is like exists for everyone else. It's weird that some people out there like do not like it if I'm not saying this is the case or this is factual. I know that kind of authority like pulls people in on YouTube. People like watching people who are very confident and seem to know like everything, but just as a human being on this planet, I can guarantee that they don't know everything, and I think it's good to be honest about this stuff. Like, this is just my opinion. Deal with it. And it's just your opinion, I guess, that you don't like that I said it's my opinion. So, uno reverse, touche. Setting book contains like lore and characters and stories you can play and stuff. Normally, Binsley, setting books, as I understand them, I did it again there, as I understand them. I threw in a little disclaimer. It's just what I do. A setting book is a focus on a location, and that can be a small location or an entire continent or an entire realm, and it will take you through different areas and introduce you to different factions, potential like major NPCs, and hopefully adventure hooks, like what to do in that area, where to play, maybe even new mechanics. Setting books often can come with new playable options, like new subclasses and classes and abilities, if it suits that setting. In fact, I would kind of expect it a little bit, but I don't think that's always the case. But it's more about the location where you're playing, the world and the vibe, than it is, you know, here's a big adventure, or here's just a book of options and adversaries and DM tools. My wife, so do you like the Hope and Fear book? Me, sorta. All these new glass look sick, but I'm a forever GM. I'll never play them. Oh, you meant classes. Yeah. Yeah, but you get to see them all being played. Wait. Where was I? Yeah, no fixed adventure, only plot hooks and things for GM to expand while also giving good world building ground to stand on, yeah. Why did my book go to Denver when it was in South Carolina and I'm in Louisiana? That freaking sucks, Michi. I'm so sorry. That really sucks. I know I'm laughing at your misfortune, but how did that's such a mess up? I'm sorry, man. I hope you get it soon. Honestly, I didn't. Oh, did you get flagged twin masks from my auto mod? I apologize. I'd appreciate if the new lore book has some sort of norm for most settings, so new campaign frames don't have to reiterate simple things. Like, dude, I have been very open and honest that I want like a core Daggerheart book that is like, you can change this however you want, but this is how a normal Daggerheart world works. And I'm hoping that's where we go with this setting book, because I really love the lore they've built in the core rulebook around the Forgotten Gods and the New Gods and the Hallows above and the Circles below and the Realms beyond, and obviously all the communities, all the ancestries, all that stuff is all lore that can change when you go into different campaign frames. But I would love them to build out that foundation more. So a setting book with that, like, give me a pantheon, give me a history of the war between the gods, give me information about the different planes of existence, because D&D has that to an extent. It's mostly Forgotten Realms, but I feel like the lore of D&D is that if you wanted to play it like this, but the main lore of D&D is that there's, an infinite amount of worlds, and you can travel between them, but each world kind of has a Shadowfell and a Fey Realm, and the Fey Realms tend to have a Fey Court, and they have the Heavens and the Nine Hells, and there's the Abyss, and those kind of like constants. They're canon events. Obviously, some settings you don't have to or won't have those things, depending on what the setting is, but they're kind of a default, a template, if you will. I want Daggerheart to have that template, and I really hope that's what this setting book is. I hope it's a world. I don't think it's going to be Exandria. I hope it's not Exandria. I hope we get Exandria later down the line, because I do want to play Daggerheart within Exandria. But I want this vanilla setting book first. And I keep saying vanilla. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that in a way that is just like, it's taking the core mechanics and the core values and the ideas behind Daggerheart, and it's making it into like this solid, the best it can possibly be without any variation yet. So yeah, give me that. Give me that. And I even had the thought that, as I mentioned before, if the next book they're working on is the Bloodhunter Summoner book, and it's all this scary kind of dark stuff, and then the other book we're getting is this vanilla fantasy world stuff, could that be the same world? Could that be the one book is the material plane, and the other book is the Hells below, the Circles below, as they're called in Daggerheart, and there could be adventures going from one book to the other where you have to go into hell and deal with this stuff and come back. Creating an interconnected universe like that is what my brain wants to happen, because I like thinking like that. I don't know if that's their intention. I think Daggerheart so far has always been about disconnected worlds, so that you can play the way you want to play without it like being affected by all this other stuff, but we will see. The announcement was very disappointing. Only tangible announcements with GM screen and adversary cards come in November. That's the announcements that are like the most immediate. But I do think two books a year for the next 3 years is pretty big. 6 books in 3 years before 2030. Ooh. I think that's a big announcement. I'm like excited for that. But it was definitely details light. For the summoner class, what if you set a countdown for yourself, and every time the summon takes a spotlight or takes damage, you take the countdown? I like that, yeah. I do like that as well. Also creating like ranged summons that don't move. There goes the camera. 1 second. Let that die down a bit. That should have been on my bingo card. For anyone new here, it's very hot in my room during the summer, and my camera will overheat sometimes. I've set it up in a situation, in a position where it won't overheat as often. But how long has this stream been going on for? 1 hour and 35 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. Not perfect. My room is like hot anyway. We don't have AC here. It's summer in Toronto, so it's 27 degrees outside right now. and I have 4 big production lights on in the room. So it makes sense. I have not figured out a fix for it yet. I've had some people tell me to get fans that will cool the camera down. I don't trust that too much, that they will be quiet enough and all that jazz. Some people have told me, get a new camera. I spent so much money on this camera. I don't want to get a new one. And I think it's just kind of fun that sometimes my camera dies. You know? Sometimes that just happens. Give it like 30 more seconds and the camera will be back. Wonder how often they'll update the Void in the next 3 years. That is also true, Car. So far, everything we've seen, as in player options, subclasses, domains, as well as transformation cards and ancestries and all that stuff, we've seen in the Void. I don't think they've dropped anything that isn't in the Void that is like a player thing. Like, what's not put in the Void is most adversaries, environments, campaign frames, items. There's a lot that's not in there. But big stuff kind of gets put in there. So over the next 6 years, we're probably going to be getting early access to a whole host of stuff that's going to be drip fed to us, which is, I think, pretty cool. If that's the direction I want to go down. $2 a year for 3 years is double the output we saw Daggerheart's first 2 years. Yes. And I also think we're going to be getting third-party stuff. We're still going to be getting, even more so, I think, books from third parties that will, like, fill out that roster. Just put the camera in ice, everything will be fine. I mean, putting, like, a bowl of ice underneath it might be cool. They sell a water cooling system for these cameras. I don't know if small rig or something like that. Really? I just want summer to go away. Once summer disappears and we go into the cold Canadian winter, that is 9 months of the year, it's no longer a problem. There, let me try to turn it back on again. And by the way, Phil, I have a Sony A7. There's a setting I found the other day that increases overheating temperature. It's on, buddy. It's on. The camera succeeded with fear. So the camera succeeding with fear is that the camera stays turned on. It just no longer works. I don't know where the succeed is. Your camera would stop all time if you're filming in the sun for longer than 20 minutes. I'll double check that it's turned on, but I after every stream I feel like I'm checking the camera settings. It's just very fucking hot in here. Would new classes be exclusive to expansion, or do you think they'd also put some in campaign settings and books? I hope they would put some in campaign settings and books. I feel like they are going to continue the vibe that is, there's something in this book for everyone. You know, players get a little bit something, GMs get something, there's environments, there's adversaries. They're gonna follow the same principle that made the core rulebook and now Hope and Fear so successful, and just like adding things. I hope, actually, because I do like the idea that they can say, here is this Circles Below expansion. It has all the information you need to know about the Circles Below, but it's also got the Blood Hunter and Summoner class in it, as well as a bunch of adversaries, as well as even like campaign frames, but they're not new settings, they're just like adventures almost. So not campaign frames, but like adventure frames, which they should make. And then I can pick that book up and I can say to my players, we're playing with or without this expansion. And then over the course of 3 years, we're going to get 6 of these expansions, and we can say, okay, we're going to be playing a game. It's got the Circles Below expansion and the Exandria expansion. Create your character using those only. And then if they have a good enough system it means that we won't get that feeling of bloat because we're picking and choosing what goes in there. I pray we get some kind of binder in the future, but it would be difficult to figure out. What do you mean by binder? Because we have like an official card holder binder. It wasn't water cooling, sorry. Smallvik has a fan thing. TC camera cooling fan model is the name. I have been meaning to check that out and put some more, like look into it more, but it just annoys me. It annoys me that things don't work as intended. I know everyone has talked a lot about the Hope and Fear book, and it doesn't feel like it added much content, but as someone who avoided looking at the class's domains, the book felt pretty substantial in its updates and new stuff. There is definitely an issue with people who play the Void content a lot, who it does feel like we're not getting anything new, but I mean, I agree with you. It's all brand new as far as like officially goes. And there's a lot of stuff in there. There is a lot of stuff in there. It goes where the screen folds out. Interesting. I would like a domain that isn't attached to a subclass, like a pact domain for a player that has made a pact, a cursed domain for someone who has been cursed. That is interesting, Gobby, because that's a... Dare I call you a genius? Because that's fundamentally what they did with transformation cards. It was like, we're going to give you a different ability. We're going to substantially change the way your class plays and how you play without changing the class or the ancestry or the community or anything. It's just an additional thing. And they could totally do that. Yeah, they could totally create some kind of third option that isn't your subclass or ancestry or community or transformation. Professions. I don't think that's a good idea. I'm just throwing that out there. Professions. Like, so, some kind of expertise, potentially, that opens up abilities that you can take instead of taking a domain card. You can take this new thing. I don't know how that would work, just spitballing, but I think it's cool. A smarter person than me could probably figure it out. Yeah, man, getting this camera stuff is such a bad financial... Can't believe how expensive lenses are. It would be cool if for those packed or cursed domains, if it replaced a domain when they happen to... Oh, they lose one and gain another? Interesting. So excited for the Foundry news. The Foundry was, yeah, for VTT folks, the Foundry news was huge as well. So I'm being too harsh on this. Classically. Professions would be cool. I think you could design them similar to the foundation features of a class. Yeah. I really like the curse idea. In my homebrew game, I let players choose a deadly sin. One of them took sloth, which meant they gained another rest option. Yeah. There's also, you can build out classes with items as well, if that makes sense. The way that in Exandria, you have the vestiges of divergence, which are items you get that will level up with you and give you new abilities that are powerful. So it could be an armor that gives you super speed, or a bow and arrow that allows you to control the elements. You could have, and it doesn't have to be weapons, it could be like, you get the orb of whatever, and what that does as an item is it opens up a whole new item domain that, you know, if it's an orb of water controlling, then you get a whole domain, access to a whole domain that is avatar water bending. Or you get an item that allows you to teleport and move around and mobility and stuff. Holy crap. Rec Room, thank you for the $10 donation there. The Blood and Dread domains feel skewed towards the fear side of Daggerheart's duality. Do you think they could find a way to skew more towards hope? More so than the Summoner Theurgist? If so, how? I do agree. I don't know if you were in when I was talking earlier about how I'm hoping that every year they release like a hope book and a fear book. And the book we're getting the Summoner and Blood Hunter in is like the fear book. They could also do the hope book, which is pulling more towards hope. I think there's definitely a lot of hope domains that can exist in the realm of healing. I think healing and support there's a lot of support classes in Daggerheart, but as far as outright healing goes, you have some stuff within the Druid and some stuff within the Seraph. I actually think the Wizard is one of the best healers, weirdly enough. So I definitely think they can build out that side of things more, and like religious side of things to be more hope-based, if that's what you were asking. So hopefully we get that kind of fear book and then a hope book that leans more heavily into that. Weapon skill trees domains would be cool. Yeah, they could open up a whole other ability skill trees that have no effect on the original choices of your level 1 character. But then the fear, and it's always going to be, is just, am I really one day just going to have 1,000 Daggerheart cards? You know? Am I just keep going to pick this up, or eventually am I just going to have to go digital? Or just start writing these things down on a paper sheet? Or printing them out when I need them, because just the idea of buying so many cards and storing them somewhere. My issue with the cards isn't, storing them. It's actually shifting through them. I don't know if any of you guys have this issue right now, and it's partly because I'm lazy, but whenever I play Daggerheart in person, and we'll do a one-shot, I've only got the one set of cards. So I then have to print out a bunch more, because some of those cards are currently in folders of players in other campaigns I'm playing, because I'm playing multiple campaigns at the same time. And sometimes a player might be like, I want to be this class, but Thingy was playing this class, and he's got the card. And it's like, okay, we'll take that from his folder now, and we'll return it after this one shot. And then if they want to continue playing that character later, you don't really have that. It's not like just a character sheet that you can store and pull out in a year's time. You have to note down what all your abilities are, find the cards, pull them out. And right now, all my cards are like scattered in different folders, in like even the campaigns that we were running that kind of died. I never went back and pulled all those cards out and sorted them out. It's just too much sorting. So I need to spend like a good hour just like rebuilding my and organizing my decks. And I'm not someone who comes from like card gaming, I'm not that much of a Pokemon guy or a Magic the Gathering guy, so I'm new to it. I'm just new to the joy of sleeving cards and organizing them. In our game, I use the player's experience as their profession. Since we're all relatively new, that's what we understood. The experience as since it's an enclosed steampunk city. I think that's a great way of thinking about experience as well. Obviously, it stretches out way more than that and can be absolutely anything you want. But for new players, just saying like, what is your expertise? What's your profession? What are you good at? Is just a great way to like get that initial experience out. I guess that's the idea behind the class pack decks. Yeah. Too many cards. I'm pretty happy with the amount of domains we have, with maybe 1 to 2 that I think we still need. I really just want more classes to fill pairs we haven't seen yet. Yeah. I mean, that would be the way to... Because the Blood Hunter has 3 subclasses, I think, right? So, or that's what it had in a void. So a good way to do it would be to release a new subclass for every single domain, and each subclass has one new ability or spell card for every level going up, and then you can slowly fill them out until every class has 3 subclasses and 10 new ability cards, something like that, and that would like really flesh everything out a lot. The question is, if we wanted an artificer, is there a class that already exists that we can throw that in as a subclass? I don't like the idea of this on principle, but I can see a world where you kind of say like wizard subclass artificer, and you make it like very technomancy, very magic based stuff. But then if you want to play the artificer that isn't that, you're like reflavoring it, and it's a bit icky. Oh my god, same. I had players reorganize the cards for me. Yeah, it's a lot of paperwork. But I love playing like physically in person with the cards, so it's kind of like to get one, you have to deal with the other. It'd be cool if Daggerheart sold a separate pack of cards, individual classes that players could pick up themselves. They do. Check out your local game store. Actually, I don't know if they're available in my local game store. Yeah, but certainly online. Rec Room, I would love to see new subclasses for pre-existing classes so much. I don't know if they will ever do it, but I'd like it. I think they'll do it. I think they'll do that. I'm surprised that Warlocks or another class don't have the foundation choice to change a card to one of another domain. That's a cool idea, actually, for something. That's a cool idea. Or just like an official, not an official, but there's definitely an optional rule somewhere, a homebrew rule where you just say you can take abilities from any domain you want as long as it makes narrative sense for your character. Then you would have unlimited options. But that would be so hard for the GM to like manage because they'd have to sign off on everything. Also, things could get unbalanced because I don't know if the game's balanced to work if everyone just has unlimited options. Wizard already has a construct spell, so adding 10 levels of Codex cards for Magitech could make Wizard work. Yeah, and those Codex cards could be used by the whatever the other class is that uses Codex. Arcana is more artifice-like than the Codex. Yeah. Taking abilities from wherever you want is rough. That creates some monster classes. Yeah, I can imagine. My only issue with a Tinkerer domain is that it would blur the line between Artificer subclass and new classes with the Tinkering domain, such as Blacksmiths. I think you would not have an Artificer class. You would create a new word that encompasses anyone who is like mechanically or inclined or crafty. So, because I think a Blacksmith and a Tinkerer can go in the same like class as two different subclasses. You would think of something cooler than a Blacksmith, like Weapons Master or something like that, but the ability of creating something, I think it would all go in the same thing. Yeah, there's already some overlap with domains, not a lot, but just a smidge, so I wouldn't be against blurring the line a bit. Yeah. So, what are our thoughts on this announcement in the end? I'd love to generally hear what you guys think. What, like, are you guys excited about anything in particular? Do you wish there was more? We can like sign off soon with that. Because for me, if I'm being completely honest, I did want more. I wanted more information about new books. I wanted information about new stuff they're working on. And the general direction of Daggerheart would have been nice. I like that, like, we're getting more stuff, and I can be confident that we're getting 2 books a year is huge. We're getting tons of adventure. We're getting a lot of content, so that's nice to know. But I do wish they gave us a little bit more. I know they said more as their tagline. I want more granular stuff, please. More granular. But big stuff. I feel like the last con they did was a much bigger deal, and they released a bunch of stuff. But I think they've learned, because I also feel like they have promised stuff in the past that we've just not seen come to fruition yet. For example, or stuff that just turned out to be quite a bit more of a letdown. For example, I remember like the first announcement after the release, they were like, we're going to be partnering with a bunch of people doing actual plays. We're going to be building out all these VTTs. We have demo playing. And then they said they were going to do tons of partnerships with dice brands. We're going to be seeing so many cool duality dice out there. And then I think the second big announcement they did, they also said the same thing about dice brands. And I got excited every time because I want to go into my local game store and see these cool dice. And the reality is I just haven't seen them at all yet. And I think it's either because you've got to go to the individual websites to buy them, or maybe some of them were such a limited run that they didn't really have time to make it out into the, bigger world. I'm sure there's people out there who are like, no, I got tons of them, but I never saw the fruition of those announcements. Like, where's all the cool Daggerheart dice from third-party people, Definitely a dice goblin now. But that's just an example of, like, they release so much information and stuff out there that sometimes a lot of it might just end up being either more lackluster in the long run or just not come to fruition. So I think they're being a bit more coy with the information they're giving out. They were sold out real quick, I believe. Yeah. I just wish that wasn't the case. Or another example is the announcement that they're going to be working with Hero Forge. And that was kind of a letdown for me. So I think rather than avoiding these kind of like letdown moments, they're choosing to keep their cards, their Daggerheart cards, closest to their chests. Andrew, hi, new here. What's happening? What is going on? We watched the Daggerheart Gen Con announcement where they announced everything they're doing for the next 3 years. That's a lie. They didn't announce everything they're doing for the next 3 years, but they announced like they're working on 2 books a year for the next 3 years. Going to be getting tons of adventures. There's a few other announcements in there. And we're just kind of chatting about it. At least one of the weird materials ones. What weird materials for the dice man? That's what I mean. I never saw this information out there. And I kind of keep my finger on the pulse, if I may say so, of the Daggerheart community. I love the dice in the collector's edition. My Daggerheart character now has a hope dice for each domain. Dude, there's so many D12s in the new limited edition book. It's actually wild. Although I'm upset we weren't shown much, I honestly believe that Daggerheart Press have done enough to help. Yeah, I want to say that I'm not in any way, when I say like I'm slightly disappointed, I'm not in any way saying that Daggerheart Press should have done more or that they need to do more. This is like an internalized thing on me. It's not on them. I think they're doing a fantastic job. For me personally, I would have liked some more information. That's kind of where I stand here. I think if anyone's going to come in and be like, they're terrible, why would they do that, then you might have an entitlement issue. I definitely have a little bit of an entitlement issue that's coming through here. I feel entitled to more stuff. But I think they're working entirely in the realm of where they need to be. Humble, what's the news? I forgot to set an alarm. The big news for me is that they're working on 2 books every year for the next 3 years. That's kind of the big news. So we should get 2 books next year. I think it's important to everyone to remember that Darrington Press has like 10 to 15 employees. I only have my 2 binders, one for printed cards, one for character sheets, GM tables, like loot and difficulty rules. I did print off a lot of things, yeah. Darrington Press has... Does it still have 10 to 15 employees? I saw a criticism on Reddit, which I think is kind of fair, and that is... If they felt like they weren't putting enough stuff out, and they wanted to put more stuff out, and Daggerheart has been this, like, wild success, they should probably employ more people. But my argument against that is that I think 2 books a year is pretty good. I don't think they need to put out more content, you know? I don't actually want more than 2 books a year. I feel like that could become too much and the quality might start suffering. And the smaller team means they can all concentrate on like the same values without it getting too lost by there being too many cooks in the kitchen. So depending on how you feel about that, you might be like, they should hire more people, make more stuff, or keep doing what they're doing. But that's down to you. I mean, hell, WotC has hundreds of employees and they still struggle putting out books. They do okay. I mean, the past year has been quiet for D&D, but at one point, they were putting out way too many books. Don't forget, some of those employees are people like Matt Mercer, who is already insanely busy. They don't want to scale up too quickly, though. Yeah, that's fair. They're being smart about this. They want to stick around for a while, and I always fall back on the same thing with Darrington Press, which is they're doing well. Let them continue to do their thing. Like, I enjoy the game. I like the stuff they put out. So let them continue to do their thing. More than 2 books a year could make the books feel like the D&D ones, light and without much content. Exactly. And also just too many options for people to play means that people just will turn off to a lot of those books. Because for me, a good Daggerheart campaign is like 6 months to a year or beyond. So I don't need new content every 3 months because I simply won't be able to play it for 6 months. Yeah. Usually 2 books per year is too much if those are source books. However, we don't know the format, content. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what we're going to get yet. Let them cook. More. Also, when you employ more people as well, there's this vibe as it becomes more of a business that is going to become more of like a capitalism thing where they're going to be chasing the money more than anything else because they have more mouths to feed, as it were. And once you start going down that track, if they have a bad year, then they start looking at doing some weird stuff to make money. You know? And again, beyond the official, we have third party filling up. Yeah. There it goes again. Candela is still a small game. It's not Daggerheart Profits. Yes. No, I agree with you. I'm going to end this stream on the fact that I'm very happy with the stuff Daggerheart's put out so far, and I can't wait to see what they're doing in the future. And I'm very excited for 2 books a year. And I don't think anyone should get up in arms that this announcement wasn't what they wanted or expected. What I will say about the announcement itself, not about anything else, but just purely the announcement, is that I saw in my chat early on when they said they're going to talk about the next 3 years and the next 6 books, the excitement was crazy. My chat was going, oh my god, we're going to eat well, blah, 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 blah. And it was really hype, and it was a really good feeling. And then by the time we got to the end of this announcement stream, everyone was kind of like, oh. So just looking at that alone, I hope they work on the way they do these announcements in the future to make them more satisfying. Because they are a place where the community can really come together and be built up by the hobby and build the hobby up themselves. And yeah, it's a little bit of a pity to watch disappointment form like that. But at the same time, the announcement has nothing to do with how Dark Express are running stuff. They're doing a great job, and if anyone is like annoyed or it's ruining your day and your life, then there's definitely like some entitlement there a little bit. Agreed, we should have started with the next year rather than the next 3 years. Yeah. Fair Day t-shirts are being given away. Yeah. Right. I'm curious if anyone in chat right now is interested in D&D still, or if they just play Daggerheart now. Is anyone in chat like interested in D&D's announcement today? Because I believe it's at 6 or 7. So what I'm most probably going to do is jump off now, work on a video, and then go live again. Same Twitch channel, different YouTube channel. It'll be on my D&D YouTube channel. And I will hopefully get live earlier to create a bingo list again for the D&D announcements. That is purely created by chat to see what our predictions could be. 6, 7. Oh my god, I'm 37 years old. Oh, why did I do that? That was involuntary. That was involuntary, Cal. Yeah. You kind of expect D&D to be a nothing sandwich with more lights. My group still prefer D&D, but I'm much more into Daggerheart. I still play D&D. I just felt so weird going back to playing D&D that I realised I definitely prefer Daggerheart. I did D&D for the longest time, and then switched to Daggerheart for the past well over a year at this point, and had so much fun with that. And now I've switched back to D&D just to play Ravenloft like little campaign before I go back to Daggerheart. I do have to say it's so weird because they are very different games, but at the same time the way I'm running them has like met in the middle of my style, which is a much more laid back. Like Daggerheart's definitely affected the way that I GM D&D. I'm sure D&D has affected the way that I GM Daggerheart as well, but they definitely fill in different voids. Like I still enjoy GMing both. I do think I prefer GMing Daggerheart as far as I think it's easier to like it's low prep and the story is more interesting in general, and I'm not in control of it, and it's more fun because I'm watching things unfold. D&D as a DM, I feel like I'm in way more power and control of everything that's happening, which I personally don't like as much. Other people would prefer, but there's definitely different vibes to it. The biggest difference is combat. biggest difference is combat. And I think when I play Daggerheart, I don't see that glaze over, I'm kind of bored look that I see in D&D combat. But also with some players in D&D combat, I see this like fire, this strategic, mechanical, they go into their mind palace to decide what they're doing in the next turn and try and do these complex stuff. I don't see that happen in Daggerheart. So there's definitely a thing there where it's like different players and different GMs will prefer a system. But for me, I think both are going to be in rotation for a long while. I still need to try Draw Steel to see what that's like. But I have a feeling that's going to be too mechanically heavy and tactical for my liking. But I want to give it a go. I would hate it if I love Draw Steel as well, because then I've got too many fantasy TTRPG games that I like playing. I don't see that in Daggerheart. My players are constantly trying to get one over on me with their strategizing. I don't see in Daggerheart as much because there's kind of... Or the way I run combat is quite fast. So there's just not enough time. Like, you either have the spotlight and you're doing something, or I have the spotlight and I'm doing something and it's back at you again. So I just find in D&D there could be 5-10 minutes before your next turn, maybe more. So you are just, the people who like that, lock in. The people who don't like it, lock out. Phil, if you decide Draw Steel, you're going to make a new channel again. What would I call that channel? Bonus Steel? I honestly don't think combat is the biggest difference. For me, it's engagement. My players seem way more engaged during Daggerheart roleplay because they feel like they are in control. That's fair, yeah. That is fair, yeah. I'd also recommend Dungeon World 2. Ooh, when it comes out. Interesting. Daggerheart's roughly a middle ground between DW1 and D&D. Bonus Steel is getting into dangerous NFSW potentially. God. I still need someone to explain to me. One of my players has 6 bullets in their revolver, so does that mean she can shoot 6 times? And when does it end this person's spotlight? Has anyone had any experience with the revolver in Daggerheart? Because I've not used it yet. But I think the way it's supposed to work, and someone could tell me I'm wrong, is that narratively it's whatever makes sense. Which is a lame answer, but it's true. So, does it say specifically that the revolver has 6 bullets? Because I think it's more like if they want to narratively say that they just, on their go, they just fire a bunch of shots, poof, 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 and then they roll for damage for those, and you don't really track them, then you do that, but then you would reload, if that makes sense. Or if they want to, like, take one shot, you can do that. Or if they want to unload the whole thing, they can do that. Narratively, it's up to them what happens, and then mechanically, they have to reroll to reload. Bonus victories. If you're using guns, everyone seems recommends looking at Pistol Heart. Yes, Pistol Heart's actually pretty decent. It's very good, actually. It's very good. I still think I'd homebrew combat differently in D&D, so letting several people take turns in a random order between each other. Yeah. I'm GMing like 6 months to first timers, and we love how the game is flowing, and I really want to write the campaign frame for our game. Fun. If they roll with fear. So it's like you have to, god damn it, you have to reload if you roll with fear. So what I would do narratively is I'd let them like fire as many bullets as narratively makes sense. And if they only fire 1 and they roll with fear, I would say that it's like jammed. So rather than they're reloading, they're like fixing the jam. So they're just going to mess with their gun if they roll with fear. And then you kind of let them do whatever they want. Is how I would kind of play it there. But someone else might have better insights there. So if it's all hope, then they just keep going and reload and keep going. Lol, one of the many things I have to learn. Yeah, like they can reload as a mechanic, or you can just say that they just keep going as in like the reloading's so quick and so easy for them that you barely notice it. Why are my views going up when I'm off camera? What? YouTube, you weirdos? Get out of here. Who came in so black screen and thought I'm staying on this one? Sexy podcast voice. No, I don't have one. I've got to work on it. Camera's overheating, man. I'm hot. I wonder if I stay silent. Views went up! If I don't talk and it's a black screen, views... There you go. You guys are the freaking stars of the show now. Insane. Insane. How insulting. Turns out, people prefer it when they can't see or hear me. And you're just listening to music. New meta. Darkness and silence. Alright, let's do a test. I want everyone to just be quiet. And don't type anything for like 20 seconds, and I want to see if my views go down or up. There you go. Actually, also, I need to... Let me silence the music. There's no way that this works. If people give me money now, I'm gonna be crazy. Okay, no. We lost like 20 viewers. Fair enough. Honestly, in hindsight, that makes sense. That does make sense. I don't know why I thought if it was a black screen and silence that the views would start going up suddenly, but it is what it is. You got to experiment with these things. You never know. Dr. Argenhart, thank you for the €4. Make Phil FanCon happen. I don't know the rubbing one out from Still Cage. $2. Thank you. I still don't know where the Phil FanCon has come from, but I guess it is what it is. Where was this? Like that, maybe? It's my stream now. Yeah, you guys ran it well while I was gone. The SRD updated on Monday. Minor changes, no new content. Ooh. It's British Bloke Appreciation Con. Oh, that's me. I'm the British bloke. One like, one rubbing out, Still Cage. This isn't that kind of content. Save it for the TikTok streams. I'm not ginger, I'm strawberry blonde, but it's understandable. It's understandable why you'd think that. Centre around non-ginger Brits. Oh, I thought you said... wait. Oh. Is firearms a hope and fear thing? I believe you can get firearms in the core rulebook. I think you might have to get them from the Western campaign frame. which I've gone completely blank on now. But they're in there, I think. A whole stream just erasing pencil from character sheets. Oh my god. There's nothing I hate more than rubbing stuff out. If I'm being honest. Because I'm bad at it. There's always like you can always kind of see it underneath. You've got to really go for it. You got to really rub one out to like, you know, make it disappear. Colossal of the Dry Lances firearms. Yes. Yeah. Okay, the stream is devolved into innuendo and phasing, so I am going to end it here. Thank you guys for chilling and sticking around. It's been a joy, as always. And like I said, I will be live in like 2 hours' time or 4 hours' time. Watching seeing what's happening on the D&D side of things. But yeah, thanks for chilling, and I will catch you all later, potentially, or in the next few days, for sure. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye now.